Imagine living in a remote village where the only source of water comes from trucks that arrive once a month. Of course, that water is never free. Then one day you discover that beneath the ground you stand on lies a massive, endless underground reservoir. But there's a catch: it's buried incredibly deep. To reach it, the villagers would have to spend an enormous amount of money, equal to an entire year's worth of buying trucked water just to dig a well. What would you choose? Continue paying for water day by day, or sacrifice once to gain permanent freedom? Humanity, on a global scale, is standing before the exact same life or death decision. For more than 140 years, our civilization has been powered by fossil fuels. We've grown accustomed to paying for coal, oil, and natural gas. But the truth is, these fuels were never truly cheap. The costs of extraction, transportation, and the trillions of dollars required to maintain and upgrade aging infrastructure continue to weigh heavily on humanity every single day. On the other side of the equation, wind, water, and sunlight are completely free and virtually infinite. They are Earth's underground reservoir. The only price we must pay is the initial investment needed to harness them. To fully transition into a green economy, the world would need what once seemed like an unimaginable investment: trillions of dollars to electrify industries, build renewable energy plants, and create massive energy storage systems. Back in the early 21st century, most economic models dismissed this vision entirely. Experts believed the costs were unrealistic and prohibitively expensive. At one point, forecasts predicted that by the 2020s, solar energy would cost as much as $157 per megawatt hour, far more expensive than coal. That's why, for a long time, discussions about green energy remained mostly theoretical or framed as moral obligations. People believed it was simply too luxurious of a gamble. But there's a fascinating detail most people overlooked. A silent revolution had already begun over the past 2 decades. When several nations and major technology companies poured massive investments into clean energy infrastructure and research, they unknowingly triggered a chain reaction. And the result? Today, solar power costs are 84% cheaper than even the most optimistic economic models had predicted. In many parts of the world, solar energy is now cheaper than coal itself. The transformation has been so dramatic that modern economists are now admitting something remarkable. A rapid transition to renewable energy could save humanity trillions of dollars over the next 3 decades, regardless of how massive the upfront investment may seem. Because there is one brutal reality we can no longer ignore: global warming is already costing us an unimaginable amount of money. Extreme weather events, rising sea levels, crop failures, disease outbreaks, and disruptions to global supply chains are all expensive bills arriving at our doorstep every single day. Returning to the village analogy, the more water trucks you hire, the more those heavy vehicles destroy the only road leading into the village. Cracks deepen, landslides begin, and eventually the road disappears entirely. For decades, scientists attempted to predict the damage caused by climate change using linear mathematical models, such as the famous DICE model. These models assumed that economic damage would increase steadily according to the square of global temperature rise. In other words, if temperatures rose by 2 degrees, costs would rise 4-fold. But today, leading economists and climate scientists have realized that assumption was catastrophically wrong. Earth systems do not behave so smoothly. Those models completely ignored catastrophic tipping points: the collapse of the Amazon rainforest, the total melting of Antarctic ice sheets, or widespread global crop failures. Any one of these events could trigger sudden jumps in economic damage, choking the global economy almost overnight. In the United States alone, since 1980, more than 400 climate disasters have caused over $1 billion in damages each. The total bill has now reached a staggering $2.8 trillion, an unbearable price for delay. It turns out that for years, humanity has been deceiving itself with outdated thinking. People used to say, "We must accept financial sacrifice today, difficult as it may be, in order to protect the planet for future generations." But in this century, modern science and economics have revealed something fascinating. The economic outlook has completely reversed. Investing in clean energy is not a painful moral sacrifice. It is not only the most effective way to protect the planet for future generations, it is also the smartest financial decision for our own lifetime. It is the most logical and practical choice an intelligent civilization can make. Understanding these hidden laws of how Earth operates is the kind of knowledge that transforms the way we think. and reshapes how we treat the only home we have in this vast universe. So the question is, will our civilization choose to build the well or continue buying water day by day? The answer depends on the actions our generation takes right now. If you enjoy deep perspectives and science-driven stories that challenge the way we think, make sure to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay curious, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next broadcast.